What is up, guys? Kid Critic is back with a new installment in Talking Movies with Kid Critic. And I woke up this morning feeling good about today's show. And without further ado, let's get down to it with the first topic of today's show, which is... The Hollywood Reporter has said that a new spinoff off of Aquaman on The Trench is currently in talks and has hired new writers in Noah Gardner and Aiden Fitzgerald. What are your thoughts on this, Kid Critic? Okay, so when I saw this news come out, I was like, I was a bit iffy on it, and I see why they would do this movie because the Aquaman movie just made $1 billion, and it made more than The Dark Knight Rises, and it's the biggest DC film of all time, box office wise, and it hit well with the audience, and I hope they don't get back into their old habits. Like, if they come out with Shazam and it ends up being good like it looks like it's going to be, and they come out saying, oh, we're about to make a spin-off movie off of that red cup that you see Shazam drinking of. Oh yeah, we're going to make a spin-off movie off of that red cup. But then I'd get very worried if that were to happen. But right now, I just feel like this would be a cool idea with like this. If you've seen Aquaman, you know what the trench is, with those like creatures, and I think it could be a really cool like horror monster movie. And then if it's executed well, and then if you have James Wan behind it, then they would let James Wan direct this movie because they probably have total trust in him right now. And I think it could be really cool, but I'd rather have them like focus into like a Cyborg movie or a Flash movie finally. And I just think that you can like focus on bigger things, and maybe like a Superman. Yeah, you have problems with Henry Cavill right now, but you have bigger names that you have this whole list of superheroes that you have, and you're focusing on the trench. This little part that was into Aquaman. I mean, the idea sounds cool, but I'd rather have them focus on other things. But I'm not totally against this idea, not at all. Especially if James Wan is behind it. And with that said, guys, let's move on to the next topic, which is... Universal has just dropped a new trailer for their up-and-coming horror flick, Ma, which releases in May of this year. What were your thoughts of the trailer, Kid Critic? Man, what a great year for horror we're going to have. I mean, we're going to have Us, It Chapter 2, La Llorona, and now we're going to have Ma. I mean, and that's just the beginning. I mean, we're going to have Happy Death Day coming out really soon. I mean, I'm so excited. And then, so people are raving about this trailer, right? And I have no clue what this is. And I'm like, so this Ma trailer with Octavia Spencer. I mean, okay, I like Octavia Spencer. I mean, I have no clue what this movie's about. And then I watch this trailer, these college kids, getting ready to party and whatever. And then they run it to Octavia Spencer, and then she's like, you want to party? Well, follow me. And then as soon as she said that, I was like, oh man, this is not going to end very well for these kids. And it just goes loose from there. Octavia Spencer looks brilliant in this movie. And I like that she's kind of trying out something new, like in the horror genre. And I mean, this movie looks nuts. Like, you see what she does to some of the kids towards the end of the trailer. It's like, ooh, that's disgusting. And I mean, and then you have Luke Evans in there, who I love. I love Luke Evans. And now, I mean, just sign me up for this movie. Opening night, I'm going to be there for Ma. Man, it just looks so creepy, and I love it. I love it. This trailer accomplished what I needed to accomplish, and it persuaded me to go watch this movie. So good job on the trailer. And now let's talk about another trailer that is very different from Ma, and that is... Disney has just released a new trailer for one of their millions of upcoming films this year, Frozen 2, which releases later this year. What were your thoughts of the trailer, Kid Critic? Alright, well, to start things off, I liked the first Frozen film, and I know, like, the more popular the film got, it got hated on more and more, but I enjoy the movie. And so I didn't really know what to expect for the sequel, and when I saw this trailer, my immediate reaction when the trailer started was, this looks pretty dark. I mean, you see Elsa on the beach with, like, it just looks dark. Like, the ocean, like, ooh. And I liked that. And then you just see her, like, doing her ice thing, like, on the ocean, trying to ice skate on the beach. And Elsa's kind of like the girl version of Frozen. That's what I think she kind of is. And she was, it just didn't really, I'm like, okay, we're just watching her doing stuff with epic music in the background. And then I was just like, oh, okay. And then after that, it then just starts getting into that, like, montage thing. You see the rest of the crew, and then they're running towards something, and I was curious to see what they were running towards, and then you see also, like, blocking something, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm curious to see what this whole thing is about. And other than that, I mean, this trailer didn't really do much for me. The trailer wasn't bad. It definitely wasn't bad. It was a good little trailer, but it didn't really do anything for me. It boosted my curiosity, and I definitely liked it the second time. I liked it a little bit more the second time I watched it, but it didn't really boost my anticipation all that much. I was just curious to see what it was about. And I think once I see what this movie's about, and I rewatch the trailer, then we'll see where I'm at. But as of right now, I'm very curious to see this movie, but I'm not, like, jumping up and down, and I'm like here. I'm like at a medium right now for this movie. And with that said, let's move on to the next topic, which is Disney has dropped a new TV spot for another up-and-coming film, Aladdin, during the Grammys, and within that trailer they revealed Will Smith's Genie. What are your thoughts of the spot, Kid Critic? Alrighty. Let's get down to this TV spot that is probably the most controversial thing this week. And, okay, I'll start off, I won't get to the Genie yet, but I'll start off with this. I like the look of the movie. I like the bright colors. I like that whole parade thing that you see there with the elephants. I like the way Jasmine looks. I like the way everyone looks, except for Jafar. I just don't like the way Jafar looks. I think he's too young, and you don't really feel, he doesn't feel menacing. And I like the look of the movie. So, with that out of the way, let's get down to what everyone is talking about, and that is the Genie. And I kind of learned my lesson from Ben Affleck's Batman to, like, never judge a casting until you see the movie. Because I was one of those people, I'm like, Ben Affleck, and then I see the movie, I'm like, this guy's pretty good. And so they cast Will Smith as the Genie. And I think something that people need to expect is that it's nearly impossible to capture the same magic and enthusiasm that Robin Williams brought to the character. And I think the casting of Will Smith was actually really good, because I think Will Smith carries a lot of enthusiasm. And when he talks as a genie in the trailer, I think he was a good fit. Now let's get down to the look of the Genie. I don't dislike the look of the Genie as much as other people do. The only thing that bothers me, and it bothers me a lot, is the face. It doesn't look like the Genie. It looks like Will Smith. It looks like you're talking to Will Smith. It doesn't look like you're talking to the Genie. The rest of the body I like. You know, he looks like a big buff blueberry. That's what he kind of looks like. But it kind of reminded me of Andy Serkis's Mowgli, because a lot of the characters look like the actor. Like Baloo, I actually like the look of Baloo, but in the movie, the character looked a lot like Andy Serkis, and in this movie, it looks a lot like Will Smith. Like if you're talking to Will Smith's Genie right now, you don't think you're talking to the Genie. You think you're talking to Will Smith right now, and that was my main issue with it. The rest of I like the look of the rest of the body. I think if they fix the face before the film comes out, then I'll be good with that. And other than that, I thought that the trailer was fine. I mean, I gonna see the movie. I like the original Aladdin. It's not my favorite princess movie. That's still like is probably Beauty and the Beast or Little Mermaid, and maybe Snow White. But I am curious to see this movie. I'm very curious to see this movie. And I just want to see what Will Smith brings to the character. And I just hope that he doesn't... And I have trust in Will Smith, because he is the Fresh Prince. And I just hope he doesn't do like a copycat of Robin Williams. I hope he makes the character his own. And if he does that, then I'll be totally fine. You just gotta fix that face though, because that face is bothering me. And then, so that's that. Let's move on to the next topic, which is... Variety has reported that the Academy chose 4 nominations for the commercial break, and these are cinematography, editing, live-action short, and makeup and hairstyling. What are your thoughts on this, Kid Critic? I think the Academy deserves an applause. Just a big applause for how dumb they've been lately. I mean, with the popular category, I mean, don't even get me started on that. With the Kevin Hart stuff, and now this. And this is just Wile E. Coyote falling off the cliff all over again. And the fact that you move cinematography and editing, the 2 most important things you need for a movie? I mean, even Alfonso Cuarón came out and said that. Who was nominated this year, by the way. And it's just a mess, because the Academy is more reactionary than Warner Brothers was over the DC, and that is just not very good. And what they need is just a change of leadership, because the past month and year has just been awful. Absolutely awful. And I agree with them shortening the show, because you just can't have a show that's longer than 3 hours. You just can't. And you have other categories that you can put into the commercial break. I mean, you could put in best documentary short. You could put in sound mixing, because most people don't know what those are. I've never seen the best documentary short nominees, or I agree with the animation one and the hairstyling one, because most people don't know what it is, or they've never seen it. No offense to them, because they have worked hard, but most people don't know what it is, and that's the fact. But people know what cinematography and editing is, and they want to see who wins that. And then the fact that they just came out 48 hours after all this came out and said, oh, wait, you got this all wrong. We're going to show the speeches later on in the broadcast, just not at that moment. And I mean, that just takes out the whole thing. Because it's kind of disrespectful to the nominees and the other cinematographers in the future who will get nominated. But then they also said that they're rotating the nominations on what's going to be during the commercial break. I mean, just don't do that. Don't do that. Because next thing you know, they're going to be taking out Best Director, and that's going to be even worse. And then next thing you know, they're going to take out Best Picture. But there's probably going to be enough people being frustrated, and as there is already, and to the point where they're going to be very reactionary and say that we're not doing that anymore, which is basically bound to happen within the next 24 hours. And I just need a change of leadership, and that is my thoughts on this topic. And with that said, thank you for joining me on this new installment on Talking Movies with Kid Critic. And as always, look out for the next video or review, probably a review. And with that said, peace!